Hey everybody, it's s6.e11, part of SuperObvious. In this video, we're talking about Power Season 6, Episode 11, called Still Dre. We waited about 2 whole months to see this shit. I'm going to do a recap of the episode and go over everything that happened. Please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Let's go. The episode starts off with Dre, his daughter Heaven, and his baby mom. I think we've seen her like once back in season 5 when Dre was tapping that ass. She wants to leave New York and go to London. Dre is pretty much like, hell to the nah because I have a new operation and I'm like this close to running New York with these things called drugs. Dre sees the news and he finds out that Ghost is running for lieutenant governor and he's like, what the fuck? He hits up Sax and says he wants to meet. Dre shows up at Sax's crib and he's like super duper mad. He says that he planted the phone like they agreed and Sax needs to do his part. He tells Sax that Ghost is running for lieutenant governor and Sax didn't know that shit either. He tells Dre that that's not going to happen and he's going to handle this. Next, we have Dre kicking it with his new crew. He also introduces his boy that just came home. He tells them at the moment he doesn't have any product because he isn't messing with the Serbs. Of course, his crew doesn't like that because they want to move the product so they can get paid. The Serbs show up, obviously minus Jason because he's still like, dead. They want answers on who killed Jason. They think Dre did it. They argue back and forth, and then there's this huge gunfight that breaks out, and everybody gets shot, including Dre's friend, and Dre gets shot in the shoulder and is able to slide out of the situation and bounce. Next, we see Dre getting fixed up by his girl. She tells him she is taking Heaven and going to London. She isn't staying around to see what happens next. Dre, of course, is not feeling this and gets mad as a bitch. She eventually convinces him to leave. They are a family, and New York seems too dangerous for Dre. Next, we go to Blanca interrogating 2-Bit and Spanky. Both of them say a bunch of funny shit while they talk to her. 2-Bit doesn't give her any info. But after getting threatened to get his third strike, Spanky does tell her to look into a dead drug dealer named Poncho, which links to Tommy. I literally could not believe that he said that shit. Next, we see Dre outside and he is waiting for someone. He surprises his mom and talks to her. He asks her for money and she gets mad because she hasn't seen or heard from him in years. He apologizes and tells her that he is trying to be a changed man. She is still mad and Dre tells his mom that he has a daughter named Heaven. She seems surprised, also not sure if she believes him or not because we know Dre. And he is like really shitty and a really bad person. Next, we have Dre showing up at Tasha's daycare and he wants some money from her. She explains that there's no kids here because when her spot got searched, she lost all the customers and she doesn't have any money. He threatens to tell that Tyreek is moving weight and wants 50,000 reasons, aka $50,000 to keep quiet. She hits up Tyreek to meet up with Dre. Dre and Tyreek meet and he gives Dre some money from the brick he gave him. Dre was expecting more, but he tells him that's all he has now, especially with the short notice that Tyreek had. He tells Dre he will get him the rest of his money and that he needs a favor. Dre talks shit and asks what the favor is. Tyreek wants a gun that's clean and untraceable. And it's probably for like, I don't know, shooting Ghost or something. Next, we see the scene again, but from Dre's perspective when him and Tyreek meet Ghost at his club and Ghost tells Tyreek to wait outside. Dre wants money to bounce, which Ghost is willing to give him, but only a portion of what Dre wanted. After that, we have 2-Bit and Spanky locked up in the holding cell. I feel like this is after the warehouse got busted, but before when they got the burner phone when they're locked up. They talk about how they think Tommy is the one responsible for the bust since they saw him when they got arrested, but also think that it could have been Dre who did it. Next, we have Dre talking to Tate. He wants new IDs and plates for when he gets out of New York. And Tate being Tate, acting like the piece of shit you accidentally stepped in and now you're like, fuck. He doesn't want to help him. Once he mentions the St. Patrick's, Tate seems interested. He tells him how the feds are interested in Tyreek for the murder of Raymond Jones. And now it's making sense on how Tate knows about this information. Next, we see Dre's perspective on when Ghost set up Dre to get arrested and Ghost watches the whole thing and Dre spots him. We go back to 2-Bit and Spanky where the guard calls them by their real names. 2-Bit's real name is Francis Jones and Spanky's name is Spotswood Richards. Like, what the fuck? When we see them locked up, which looks like from 2-Bit's perspective on when he gets the burner phone and talks to Ghost. Ghost tells him that he will look out for their families while they are locked up if they take out Dre. Everybody's out in the open where Dre spots 2-Bit and Spanky and see that he is about to get attacked, so Dre walks up to a random inmate and talks to him like he knows him. Dre is called and he is taken away while giving 2-Bit and Spanky the middle finger. We go to the interview that we had seen before where Dre tells Blanca he's seen Ghost kill Silver and she gets him out of jail. Going back to 2-Bit, where he uses the burner phone to call Tommy, it's one of the only times we see Tommy in this episode. They talk about BG and the warehouse getting busted. He asks for Tommy's help, and Tommy hangs up. And based on 2-Bit's reaction, Spanky asks how the conversation went. Next, we go to Dre being driven around by the feds. He super fakes having to pee, so they stop the vehicle. He acts like he's taking a piss and runs away. We see him entering a home, which we find out it's his mom's crib. He tries taking a box of jewelry and she catches him and points a gun at him. Dre takes the gun and points it back at her and says, "I'll never forgive you." She says, "I don't know what I did to offend God so much for him to give me you as a son." That's some deep ass shit. He puts the gun on the floor and takes the jewelry and leaves. After that, we have Dre meeting Tate at his office, and they are both wearing the clothes that they were wearing at the end of episode 10 when we're trying to figure out who shot Ghost. Tate tells him he has the stuff he wanted, which includes the IDs and plate. He also has something else for him. He dumps this huge ass envelope full of money all over his desk, and it's like $100,000. And we already know what Tate wants Dre to do: kill Ghost. Dre tries taking the money, and Tate says you get half now and you get the other half when the job is done, and threatens that if Dre tries taking the money and leaving, he will let everybody know who he is because he is the only one that knows Dre's new identity. Dre says, "You're paying me to do something that I would have done for free." Dre's in the car with his family and shows this girl the jewelry and the money he has, and she wants to leave. Dre starts to, but turns around and heads to Truth to do the job, and his girl is pleading for them to just leave because they have the things they want. Dre shows up at Truth just in time to hear the gunshot confirming it was not him who shot Ghost. Once leaving, Blanca is outside and Dre punches her right in the face or something. He gets back in his car and drives off. They get stopped at a red light where Dre sees Tommy looking super duper sketch. And it's right after we heard the gunshot, so it hints that it still could have been Tommy. And then they did the whole like when one car drives and a person just vanishes kind of thing. Dre stops at a gas station to get, gas and snacks, where he sees on the news that Ghost is announced dead. And it's on the news, so this could be legit, but it could be the show trying to work us. When Dre leaves the store, he is surrounded by cops, arrested, and goes back to jail again. He has a visit from his girl and daughter. She tells him how pissed she is because they had everything they wanted and were almost gone. We see that Dre's mom is there and talks a bunch of shit and tells him she will raise heaven while Dre's ass is locked up forever, how long his ass is going to be locked up. Dre tells heaven that he has made some mistakes and that he is going to make it right. After seeing this, it does kind of hint that this could be the last time he talks to her, which is really sad. We have seen Dre slide out of so many situations, but when he got locked back up again, it really seems like he's fucked. In the cafeteria, we see 2-Bit and Spanky, and then they see Dre. Dre sees them, and Dre walks up to an inmate and takes some of the food from his tray and puts it on his head, starting a fight, so he is pulled from Gen Pop and put in solitary. He thinks that this makes him safe, but it doesn't, because the slide of his door opens and a bunch of towels soaked in gasoline start dropping into Dre's cell. We see that it's Spanky and 2-Bit. And after Dre is begging for them not to do this, Spanky sprays a bunch of gas on Dre, and 2-Bit lights up a lighter and drops it in his cell, setting Dre on fire. And then they cover up the cell so that Dre keeps burning without people noticing for a while. It's crazy because they all grew up together, and 2-Bit and Spanky used to work for Dre. The next day, 2-Bit sees that Spanky is gone, and a guard says, "You must have had a better lawyer than you." Spanky is with Blanca, and you see her face with a whole bunch of marks on it. He is signing the papers of him cooperating and asks if Tommy is going to find out about this, and she says that he won't. Once she leaves, she meets Paz, and I'm kind of like what in the hell is she doing there? But yeah, guys, that's the episode. Once it's over, it makes it seem like we're going to get perspectives from each of the characters in the following episodes on who shot Ghost. Also, we know that Dre didn't shoot Ghost, and Tate probably didn't either. So that leaves Tasha, Tyreek, Sax, Paz, and Tommy. But I'm really not wanting to wait to the end of the show to see who shot Ghost, because then there's no room for a reaction from the other characters. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the video and Dre dying. Also, how long do you think it's going to be before we find out who shot Ghost? Like the video and subscribe to SuperObvious for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Totally, for sure.